Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Commo John here. It's Saturday morning. Oh, Jesus, I nearly got that wrong. Saturday morning, 10th of January. I wanted to give a progress report if I can. There's lots and lots of energy and lots of conversation going out there. I haven't seen it run this red hot for a long time. Okay, let me try and go through a few points. Look, number one, I have a formally named seconder for the motion that's now been hosted up on. I've now got it up on a petition website, but it's not a petition, guys. It's a motion. Okay. Now I've got that up, and the formally named seconder is Ricardo Bossi. Okay, the national leader of Australia One. Now, I reported yesterday. My concerns about whoever's going to be putting their head up, and the danger and the exposure that person is going to have. Okay, this is no look. The news is the news is fake. Everyone, the news is fake, but the war is real. They are killing us. They have killed us, and they want to kill more of us. You understand me? Now, Ricardo is a soldier, mate. He's a soldier, and he's conditioned to accept that danger and that exposure. And I had a long conversation with him, and I've come to the conclusion that he would be the best person to second that motion. Now, I've also asked others. I mean, I asked Darren Bergworth, would he be prepared to second the motion? I mean, Darren indicated to me that he supports the strike and he wants to grind the country down and to a halt, to get rid of the belligerent occupation. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that support. I wrote him an email asking Darren would he be prepared to second the motion, but he's obviously busy. He hasn't been able to get back to me, and in the meantime, I had an in-depth conversation with Ricardo Bossi, and I think the fit is right. This is not about politics, folks. It's not. I'm being very pragmatic here, very practical. Okay? All right. So let's get that out of the way. The motion has now been moved. Commo John Wilson, and seconded Ricardo Bossi. Okay. To all of those other people who've contacted me, and there's been dozens who've offered to second the motion, too many to thank. I can't express my gratitude to you for your guts, bravery, and determination. And if I could, I would thank every one of you individually. But now that's done. Now, the job at hand, the immediate job at hand, is this: we have to get that motion supported. Okay. If it's not going to be supported, then there is going to be no national strike. That's just the facts of it. I've indicated to you that I intend, if I've got to go it alone, I will go it alone. That's just it. So for everyone out there, please go to this website. Go to the website and register your support, because it's only by doing that, right, that I have a mandate, and we have a mandate to do what we're going to do. All right, now I want to move on. There's lots and lots of people out there who are disorientated and confused, and in many cases they've been traumatised, okay? And so their thinking, is a little bit rough around the edges, and they're trying to work through what the strike motion means and to come to terms with it, okay? And all of that's cool, guys. All of that's cool. It's to be expected. I myself have been traumatised. I myself have had to accept counselling from some of my spiritual friends who've helped me deal with a bit of baggage that I was carrying. All right, and I thank them also. Anyone out there that is feeling traumatised, or I would urge you to go and get some spiritual counselling. Talk to someone who understands a lot about this. It'll help you. It'll help you. We need clear thinkers, guys. We need clear thinkers, and you're going to see this whole strike. It will become very clear with a little bit more time. But the first step is, before we start racing into anything else, is to get the motion supported. Now, because I'm going to be the national spokesman, it's in the motion, right? My brief, right? Okay, and I've done this a lot of times before in the unions, right? The membership move a motion, adopt it. That's our log of claims. That's what we want. There you go, Comrade John. You go into that corporation and you negotiate and come back out with what we want. Okay, so the first step is I've got to have authority. I've got to have some sorts of authority. If I don't have that, then come on, guys, I'm talking to nobody. There's just me. I'm not part of anything. It's just me. I don't have office staff. I don't have, equipment and all the rest. Everything I've got, mate, has been smashed with the floods that I went through. And I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth. So, first things first, get the motion supported. Now, once we get that support, that then gives me some sort of authority. Because at the moment, mate, I'm just a nobody. I'm calling for it. I'm putting putting it all out there. But, unless it's supported, then it means nothing. You must get it supported, right? Okay. Now, there is no plan. There is nothing decided unless the motion gets up. And once the motion gets up, then the drop box under the motion sets out a whole bunch of actions that we are going to enact. Okay, it's got a lot of actions there, but it's also not limited to those actions. There may be other things that are brought to my notice by strikers out there that are not listed in that motion and action. That's very effective. And if that comes up, then we are going to pursue that. Okay, it's not limited to those things. I can't list everything out. Okay, so there is nothing locked in, nothing until we get this motion out. There is discussions, God. There is discussion. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. To talk about options, to talk about what can be done, what can't be done, timing, nothing wrong with that. It's all being done in goodwill, and I love all those people that are engaged in that. All right. Okay. What's next? The black pillars. Right? Okay, guys, be very, very mindful, mate. Again, infiltration, I've spoken about this. There is no middle ground here. It's yes or no. Yes or no. I mean, I don't want to hear, yes, I support it, and then have a whole heap of qualifications. And I'm not interested. If you're going to come at me with that, vote no. Vote no. Your name will be captured. We will know what your stand is, right? We know that you voted no, okay? And then move on. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. For all of those people who are iffy, maybes and all that, right? My plea to you is get the fuck out of our way. Get the fuck out of our way. Those people who are telling us that this can't be done should get the fuck out of our way, because the people are actually doing it. You get me? Don't listen to these black pillars. They'll come up and say, oh, this won't work because there's not enough people and you can't get unity and blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to them, guys. Don't listen. Don't listen. I've shut the entire construction industry down with 10%. 10% of the numbers. Everyone else was going to work, but not my union. The crane drivers, the hoist drivers, the lift drivers, all the materials handling people were my people, and they were a choke point. Once we pulled, mate, didn't matter what the rest of the construction industry said, we didn't care. We, on our own, could shut it down. Okay, so choke points, folks, choke points. Yes, we want numbers. Yes, we want all of that. But don't have any fear what a small, well-oiled, well-greased, right, well-skilled key position holders can do. Go and ask fucking Bosey. Go and ask Bosey with the Special Air Services, mate. There's not too many of these guys, mate. Not too many. But go and ask Bosey what their operational capabilities are. Huge, huge. I mean, they don't need all of the legions and battalions and all. They don't operate like that. So get it in your head. You're going to have black pillars in there trying to give you that sense of hopelessness. Take no regards to them. Then the other thing you must take note of, everyone, is the social media influences inside of the freedom movement and the truth movement. Those who smear the motion, who won't support it, who speak against it, and smear the motion. They will do that, and then they'll also smear me personally. Okay, that's the other line that they'll come out, right? My advice to everyone out there, if you hear anything bad said about me, believe it. It's probably true. It's probably true. I'm serious. It's probably true. Okay, believe it. But all you need to know is I'm not the same man that I was. I'm not the same man, guys. Once you know what these monsters are doing to children, once you know what they're planning to do to us, and once you know what they have did to us, mate, you cannot but be affected. And I have been deeply affected, deeply. Now, I didn't find God. God found me. God found me, baby. I didn't find him. I wasn't looking for God. But in the deepest, darkest hole that I've ever been in, with these floods, with a wall of water, with thousands of tons of debris coming at me, God tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, do you need a hand?" Thank fucking Christ. Sorry for swearing, God. I don't mean to piss you off, mate. I don't want to get you offside. I need you. Okay, I'm not the same man, guys. If anyone wants to drag shit up about me, about my communist days and all, let them do it, mate. Believe it. It's probably true. I'm telling you, I was not a nice guy. I'm still not a nice guy. So listen, to anyone out there, any of these influencers, anyone out there who's saying, "Oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that," look, just disregard it. Just disregard it. Don't get hung up on it. The motion says that there is one person who has been appointed to be the national spokesman, and that's me, Como John. I don't do this for ego, brothers and sisters. There's no ego in me. There's none left anymore. There was a lot of it once upon a time. I mean, once upon a time, mate, I was a big shit kicker. I had 10 inches and a wrinkle. Now I've got 10 wrinkles and a fucking inch. So there's no more ego left in me, okay? But we can't afford to have, right, miscommunication. We can't afford to have two different messages. We got to keep the target small. We can't dilute it. We can't complicate it, right? Every problem we have in this country can be addressed and fixed once we have our sovereignty back, people. Once we got our sovereignty, we can fix all this stuff. Now, in the freedom movement and in the truth movement in Australia, you're going to find this out, folks. You are going to see anyone that talks against this motion, anyone that smears the motion, anyone that tries to discredit me over this motion, right? Any of these people, they are batting for the other team. There is no, it's either yes or no, folks. Come on, it's not, let's not complicate this. They complicate it. They confuse. They talk with mealy mouth. I mean, I can't stand it anymore. They just talk and dribble, double speak. The lawyers, I mean, they get paid for by the word. So take no notice of these people, folks. Push on. We don't need them. We don't need them for this to be successful. Again, choke points. What we need is a hardcore bunch of people, a hardcore bunch of people who are prepared to really get into this and really get behind it and show the way. Once we start beating the pathway down, you watch, everyone out there will follow. Tell me, folks, if I'm wrong. How many people do you know out there that are nice and happy with their lives and love the government and all the rest of it? That's one side. And how many people that you know out there that are just living day to day, who hate this government, mate, and want to bring this shit show to an end? How many? I'm betting the majority are in, let's bring this shit show to an end. Okay, now, I want to talk about once the motion is passed, once we get that support, okay, this is not an event, not one event. It's not going to be fought like that, okay? We are going to grind the country down to a halt. It's going to take a while for us to do this. You get me? We are trying to mobilise millions of people. This is not done overnight, folks. Come on, this is not one big catastrophic event and then we all go home and everything's fixed. No. We've got to grind them down, okay? Grind them down. We have to do as much as we can to make the country an ungovernable, while we, the individual, right, that it hurts them more than it hurts us, okay? I don't want it to be the other way around. I don't want any national striker out there to think that they're going to go and sacrifice themselves on a sword, okay, for some little tiny victory. No. We want as little sacrifice as we can get away with maximum impact against government and all of their fraudulent agencies, okay? Now, yes, there is going to be a national day of strike. There is going to be that, right? But that's got to come. It's got to be worked through. We got to get to that, okay? We got a whole bunch of other stuff that we can do before we get to that. You understand me? Such as knocking on doors and going to get people to get them involved and talk them through with them. I mean, that is important. My advice to everyone out there, go and set up your little talk groups, your little groups out there. Go and get that infrastructure in place. Word them up. Get them to log in and support the strike motion, okay? Get them to do that, right? And wind them up. Get them up and say, listen, you know, we need to be ready. We need to have these discussions and start talking amongst yourselves about what your capabilities are. Again, I've reported this. I've got some plumbers, sprinkler fitters. Now, their capabilities are different, completely, vastly different than, say, you know, a grandmother living on the Central Coast in New South Wales that's on a pension. Her capabilities, right, are different, not less, but different. Okay, so, you know, the one size glove is not going to fit, mate. It can't be a centralised leadership led. If I try to be the sole person to dictate all of this like some tyrant, right? Okay. I've already told you what Jewish power, Freemason power, and Zionism will do to me. I won't last, mate. If they see me as being the sole source, right, of all of this, all of this national strike, then they are going to weigh up whether it's worth them removing me out of the picture. Remember, folks, these people are dangerous. They are fucking dangerous. Okay, that's my report up to date. Please, guys, I'm going to clip on the back of this upload, and I want you to watch it. I have posted this before. It had 260,000 views on Telegram, okay? And on other platforms as well, okay? 260,000 views. I want you to listen to this woman. I want you to try to look at her insights as to how this is going to collapse. Remember, we are collapsing the matrix. We are bringing the matrix down. This is not a violent overthrow. This is not, mate. We are collapsing these power structures. And this woman, out of everyone else, and I've spent 11 years doing this, this woman is the only person who's ever been able to explain it to me in such simple terms. Easy to digest, easy to understand, okay? Now I'm going to put it at the end of this. Have a look at it. Again, this is not an event. We are going to collapse the matrix by white-handing it. Everyone around, all of us have a role to play in this. All right, guys, that's all I can say. I'm not on air tomorrow. I'm not. I won't be. I'm away all day tomorrow, and I'll be back Monday lunchtime. I'm going to a small community called Gympie in Queensland. It's about a 4-hour ride north here of Brisbane. I'm going up to meet with a whole bunch of locals up there, and I'm also, for those who know, I'm also going to be meeting with Dick Yardley. Dick Yardley is up in Gympie, and I'm going to be spending some time with Dick. Now, many people may well know who Dick is. If you don't, you should, and you should get his book. I'm telling you. Okay, guys, thank you. Much love to you. God bless. I can't say that I've loved you all, but I've loved as many as I could. Cheers, guys.
Some of you guys know that I have a PhD in sociology, and some of you know that I'm also a woo-woo person who has always believed that sometime in my lifetime I would experience a global transformation of human consciousness. I don't know why I always believed that. I just always believed it, and that's part of why I studied sociology. So what I am is somebody who has woo-woo ideas and tries to test them scientifically. And I believe that we may be on the brink of, some authors have called it a kind of epidemic of awakening, that individuals may actually come into a state that is more enlightened and therefore create a better society than we've ever seen before. That is not what seems to be happening. If you have checked the news at all, it kind of seems to be going the other way. But very often, it is at the extreme of one system that another system comes in. Like in Confucianist China, which was very rigid, you got the Taoists coming in to talk about a way of thinking that was incredibly fluid. So sometimes it's like shooting an arrow. When you pull way back in one direction, it shoots things forward in an opposite direction. So here's what I think is going to happen, and it pertains to you, so please listen. The way our society is structured right now is like a pyramid. Here is a pyramid that I made myself out of sugar cubes. And it represents the power structures that come from the ability to force, to amass wealth, to kill, to harm, to dominate. And this is the type of social structure that's been in existence all over the world for recorded history, okay? The more powerful, brutal, violent people take all the stuff, they get to the top, they get power, wealth, and status, and the people at the bottom end up growing the grain to feed the monarchs, and they starve, and they're miserable. And every society has pretty much been that way. Powerful elite at the top, miserable working poor at the bottom. And the sad thing is that when you go to revolution to overthrow it, which has happened all over the world in many places, many times, you get this awful thing where it just creates another pyramid. So when I was in China studying right after the Cultural Revolution, they used to have a joke. They'd say, you know, under capitalism, humans exploit other humans. But under communism, it's the other way around. Not so great. Like the communists didn't do any better a job than the landlords who came before them. So everybody has always known that there's something unfair and wrong about this, but everyone wants to get to the top. And right now we have a society of people who are desperately trying to get to the top, just like they always have. And it seems to me like it's getting weirder and more sordid and more awful. And I think a lot of you have been feeling that way. That's what I see on Facebook. That's what I see when I talk to people. So as a sociologist who believes in a transformation of consciousness, all my life I've been thinking, what would an enlightened society look like? Like if everyone was awake, what would it look like? What would the structure be? And what I came up with was it would be like this. It's just a pool of water. Yeah, I colored it blue for you. So everything is completely equal. And every person is represented not as by their place on the pyramid, but by a stream of energy that flows into the pool. And it creates that ring of concentric circles of waves that go out. So everybody has waves of energy that come out from them, and everyone's wave energy interacts. And sometimes, like a high energy meets a low energy, and they cancel each other out. Sometimes two waves meet, and they create something called constructive interference, where the goodness really goes beyond what either could accomplish on its own. So I thought, okay, this is it. It's a perfectly still, flat pool, and we're all energy flowing into it, and our impact has to do with how authentic we are, how much of ourselves, our real selves, we are putting into this pool of goodness. And for a long time, I had the two in my head, and I thought, how do you turn a pyramid into a pool? How do you turn a pyramid into a pool? How do we turn this crazy, grubby, grimy, horrifying thing that is the power structure into something clean and clear and good? And then one day I realized, all along, the pyramid has been in the pool. The pool has been forming around it. So here's what's happening, okay? You've got a group of people becoming enlightened, and they're below everyone else. They're lower than the rest of the pyramid. They are not coming in and winning. But from the bottom up, they are slowly dissolving the power structure. And the people who dissolve first, who give up the old way of being first, are the ones who has the least to lose. So they're on the bottom. They just absorb the people around them because they are made of inclusion and love. There is no conquering in this. The pool doesn't destroy the pyramid, it includes it. And it makes it into something clear and fluid and sweet. And the people at the very top of the pyramid are the last ones to know what is going to happen. This will not be a revolution, this transformation. It will be a dissolution. It will be an inclusion. And how do we bring it about? We dissolve the rigid power structures, the fear-based, needy, hungry, violent parts of ourselves. We dissolve that into the sweetness, and we do it by reaching inward to the heart instead of obeying the ego. In Asia, they say the mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master, and the heart is the master that the mind should be serving. How does the mind serve the heart? One word, art. Well, a number of ways, but art is the primary one. There are certain people who breathe in their own authenticity. They go inside, they dissolve the obstacles to their own clarity, their own illumination. And then they find a way after that inhale to breathe out their message, their light, their energy to more and more people. And the people around them start to dissolve and become more like that. That's what happened around Jesus. That's what happened around Buddha. That's what happened around Gandhi and Martin Luther King. It happens. It happens. Okay? So I know some people that I've talked to are really discouraged. It's like, why should we make art? Everything's falling apart. I want you to listen to a quote from Toni Morrison. She wrote this in a self-described very dark mood after George Bush, the second, was elected for the second time, and she was feeling really down. And she wrote, "This is precisely the time when artists go to work. There is no time for despair. There is no place for self-pity, no need for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language. That is how civilizations heal." And may I add, that is how civilizations become clear and equal and sweet and inclusive. So I'm trying to do it. I was talking to my friend Liz Gilbert about how we've always used language to go in and find our hearts and clear the space in ourselves. And it's like an inhale, and then the exhale is how many souls can we touch with sweetness, with kindness, with equality, with love. And we're doing a writing course on that. You can see it in the link under the video. And this is part of what it means. This is all of what it means for me to change the world right now. This is what came to me. What's coming to you? Breathe in, find yourself, find your truth, become clear, and then watch all the rigidity in you dissolve, and then be that, and watch the people around you begin to lose their own rigidity and join you in this fluid oneness that is a transformed society. I hope this helps, and I'll see you on the internet.
They can go and get fucked. Never am I going to submit to Freemasonic institutions that are full of child rapists.
In the fourth industrial revolution, it's a fact that the winners take it all. So if you are first mover, you are the winners. If you are first mover, you are the winners.
They put the bet on, mate. We didn't put the bet on.
So if you are first, you are the winners.
They put the bet on, mate. We didn't put the bet on.
You are the winners.
But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people.
We want the lot. We want the fucking lot. They put the bet on, mate. We didn't put the bet on. You can't play a game of cards with me, mate. You can't play a game of cards with Commo John, mate. And if you say, righto, there's a $500 bet on the table, Commo John, and you know, it's for all that $500 for Mother Earth, that's what the $500. And I say, okay, well, there's my $500, I call you. And then you put down 2 kings and 2 tens. And I put down 2 kings and 2 jacks. You can't say, oh, there's $50, I'm taking the other $450 off the table. No way! No. I want everything. Every stinking thing that they've stolen off. I want all of this, free energy system. I want all these medical cures. I want all this new physics, new science. I want all of our history that they've hidden from us. I want the fucking lot, and I'll choke these motherfuckers within an inch of their lives to get it. Listen to me, mate. There ain't any fucking bigger haters on this planet than old communists, mate. Old communists, mate, I am telling you now. Now listen. The only 2 things you need to know about me is, 1, can I fight? Yes, I can. I can really fight. Number 2, whose side am I? Who am I fighting for? Well, I'm fighting for my God, and I'm hoping my God's the same as your God, and let's go to war for him, all right? That's it. We're going to win it. We are going to win it. These bastards are in a spiral.
For the world at large, normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population. Well, this won't be the last pandemic that we face. So we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is, will get attention this time.
They can go and get fucked.